thoughts on this week?
It's the first day of full live with the officials. We got a lot of work to do, but I really love their effort. Again, I say this probably every week. They're very resilient. We've thrown a lot of things at them. Probably just going to scale it back this week. We've got to introduce some low red zone, get ready for next week. But I got to see some of the injury report. We had a couple, I think, anchors today. But we're more than halfway through. I think we got 6 practices left. So I would say we're on schedule. I mean, maybe a little bit ahead in some certain positions. So I think we're on schedule.
Putting the team together, what's the identity you're looking for as the game?
Well, our plan is what we call TFC, turnovers, field position, and Charlotte doesn't need sharp. I asked the officials the last 2 weeks, hey, call it by the book, but I want to be strict. The staff, we sat down prior to spring practice and evaluated turnover margin. And we the program through 2 different staffs have been at the bottom. All right. So no matter who's coaching the team, if you do not want to turnover margin, you're going to have a hard time winning the game. We focus on field position. That's special teams. That's limiting explosive on defense, which is tackling. And offensively, you want to get explosives. And then challenging our punter to flip field position. That's key. When Charlotte wins the field position battle, they're like 12-5 at that day. And you don't. It's the other way. And then the Charlotte, it doesn't beat Charlotte back to the officials, and not having the penalties. We've got cleaning up. I get close to the bottom of the league for sure, and then in the country. So the TFC piece of that gives us our best chance to be successful, and we got to go out there and play. But that's my answer.
Coach, another weekend full of stands, people coming down on the field to meet coaches, players, and talk about the recruiting.
I think again, the weather's been spectacular. Last week we had probably close to 200 top recruits on campus plus parents. We got another great day today. Everything's screening up. Baseball's playing later today. I'm sporting like my baseball shirt. They won 6 or 7 in a row. They're on the streak right now. So there's a lot happening here on campus. And I'm not even mentioning the expansion and things like that, but the recruiting piece, getting guys to see this beautiful place. We're proud of what we got. I said it last week, but seeing the team practice is how we go about it is invited.
Specifically, a lot of success at Ohio, things like that. Is there anything you're looking for midway through spring practice that you're seeing that is kind of an indicator of success?
I think the mental aspect of this. When we make a mistake, what are you doing the next play? We have a saying, follow TFC, don't let the previous play affect the next thing. We're focusing on in littlest things, attention to detail. We hand the ball to the official, and it is crazy that sounds. That's just what we do. And so we are trying to focus on the littlest things. One thing I noticed today, we no coaches on the field for the first time all spring. So I'm like rabbit ears. I can hear the communication from player to player. I'm out there behind the offense, watching the quarterback, but I can hear the dialogue between their players in both huddles. And it's positive. It's very encouraging as a coach. I didn't get any, but as I've said, body language never whispers. It always screams. And the communication and the interaction from player to player, I was proud of it. And we're a long way to go, but. With that attitude, it's going to get us through when things get tough.
Higher pledge budget to try to put a kitchen or place to eat together after that.
Yes. We had the expansion starting in August. I'm going to steal a line from Director Gill. Excuse our dust this August. I thought that didn't push as yet, but in that facility, they're going to have a 3,000 square foot kitchen. And this is something I have not shared. I met with a team of people 3 weeks ago, me and JK. My director, chief of staff, and they were walking me through, hey coach, we can have a wedding or host an event on campus and get out of there at midnight on Saturday and have it flip to flip and have breakfast ready for your team at 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, that's awesome. We'll have a facility for our athletes, but what I want to point out is the passion of the group wanting to do it. It's like, I gotta, I laid out at midnight, and you gotta have breakfast ready for the team. They were excited about doing it. you can't put a price tag on it. I mean, it was very, I was very excited for it, for Charlotte, and not just football, but it's going to be a beautiful facility. It's going to help us enormously in recruiting, and it's exciting times.
Could you talk about other ways you're trying to bring this team together, whether it be through just having it together for a meal or having together?
That's great. I believe in the last 2 weeks, every position has been with their assistant coach out. I mean, we've had groups go ball way. All right. And team only. It's the best way is through the meal. And you get and talk about things other than just assignments. It's what's going on in their personal life. I think that's one of the things that we do here that separates us from other programs. We let the kids know that we care. And that old saying, I think Lou Olson's the guy I heard a long time ago. People don't care what you know until they know how much you care. And I hope that our guys are feeling it. I think they do because we've been out in the community. I got several texts yesterday. We had a group of guys, I don't know, 10 guys that were up Mooresville area, I think, or elementary school somewhere north, and doing some Niner reading to the kids. And I got a couple texts from parents that the impact, and I think they're really giving back to the community because they feel all the things I'm trying to explain.
Coach, every spring it feels like the offensive line is always kind of a puzzle for every coach. How's that puzzle come together, figuring out who's who and who's going to be where?
I think they certainly are working hard. We had a couple of ankles, I think, today, but it's a lot of moving pieces. I think it'll be important as we go to 105 roster spots. Versatility is a word that we're going to have to develop. Your left guard might have to be your third tackle, or to tackle coming to guard. We got the center thing. I think versatility will be huge because the roster limits our numbers are going to go down. And I think that's the same way in the D line. We play with 3 safeties here, right? And they've got to be interchanged. So we're going to have to. It's going to be a new for me. In 36 years, I've had 120 to 200 in the rest. That we're going to have to find ways to practice the right way. And try to limit guys on the ground and guys learn multiple positions. And to do all that, the learning piece, we're gonna have to keep it simple. You're gonna, like you can't be West Coast to play call this long and vice versa on defense. You're gonna have to, for them to play fast and play confident, you're gonna have to be smart with what you install and ask them to do.
You talk about roster changes, things like that. NIL is a thing now, realignment. The college football schedule.
It's more than a thing.
The college football schedule is year-round now.
Yeah.
What's it like coaching in a sport that used to be season to season and now seems like it is a whole year?
Yeah, that's a great point. I'll try to keep it down to 5 minutes because I can talk for an hour on it. But I do. It has gone to year-round, and we got so many old rules that were in place because of. It was structured in the yearly. It was recruiting season. Okay, it's spring ball. Okay, it's camp season. Now it's official visits year round. I think right now, I know as our staff moves as we go through this process, I am sensitive to their time off. They need it. Because conceivably right now with OTAs, they're here. It's 12 months. And so our approach is going to be as we're. They need time away. They got to have a vacation. They got to, and that's important to us. But it is year round for the staff. And I'm big on the staff being fresh. I don't want them in their guard their desk. Let's get our work done, and let's go, get with our families and, hang out. So I think if there's one thing from Coach Solich era to Tim Allen and my swap. And being here with our staff, that's one thing that I think, been, I don't want to say,
All right, great.
A front runner, but it's important to me because I was an assistant for so long. I said if I'm ever in charge, this is how we're going to do it for players and the coaches. And I think we're headed in the right direction as far as team energy and staff energy.
Yes. A lot of different guys from a lot of different places. What's the value in having guys like Henry Ludridge, Johnny King, who've been here for 5-6 years?
Well, all of the ones that have state, Johnny Kane is, I've mentioned, is the line coach. Those guys have been resilient. They want to be good, and it's tough. I mean, this is how we're gonna do it. And then a couple years later, this is how we're gonna do it. And they haven't flinched. And that speaks a lot to their character and what they stand for. They love Charlotte, right? And then our fan base is obviously, as I said, on their story, on the crew that's going to be we're cooking, and be excited about. Our fan base is very passionate, and our players appreciate that. And I think, you got a staff that's showing them, that tough love and all those things, and they want to give back to the community. And I think again that just speaks to their character, and it's going to be a good thing. That's it.
Anything else? Let's have it again.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for being here.